mentioned, there were 17 different crime scenes for the detectives to piece together. When authorities contacted Lucas's parents, they were already en route to Isla Vista because they were concerned about the email they received earlier from their son, and he wasn't answering any of their phone calls. When they arrived in Isla Vista at around 1 a.m., the investigators told the worried parents what their son had just done. Obviously, they were very upset, but remained cooperative with the police. It was very hard for his parents to believe that their son owned even a single weapon, but owning numerous weapons and hurting and killing so many people was beyond impossible for them to imagine. There were 3 semi-automatic 9mm pistols found in his vehicles, as well as 2 knives that he used to murder his 2 roommates and their friend earlier in the evening. When officers arrived at Lucas's apartment, the doors were locked. One officer was able to look into a window and see George Chen on the bathroom floor in a pool of blood. This gave police probable cause to enter the apartment, which they did, using force. Upon arrival into the apartment, police found the 2 other victims, James and David, in the bedroom on the floor covered in blankets and clothing. Lucas's bedroom was very messy. Police noted that there was a laptop open on his bed, and a video was just uploaded. This was the retribution video Lucas uploaded before going on his killing rampage. On his bed there was a fitted sheet with many stab and slash marks. There were also stab marks in the pillows on the bed. Investigators thought that maybe Lucas was practicing stabbing movements with the knife before he stabbed his victims. They also found a buttoned-up shirt and blue jeans with large amounts of blood on them. The police concluded that these were the clothes that Lucas wore when he killed George, James, and David. Investigators also found numerous video games that were known for being violent, such as World of Warcraft, Gears of War, Call of Duty, and Halo. Several more knives were found in his bedroom. Handwritten journal entries were also found, which gave investigators a small glimpse into Lucas's mind and his thoughts about women. There were also lottery tickets and 2 gun cleaning kits found. After more investigation, it was discovered that all of Lucas's firearms were purchased legally. The 3 firearms that he had were purchased at 3 different gun shops on 3 different dates. All of the necessary paperwork was filled out correctly, and he completed the mandatory 10-day waiting period when he purchased the firearms. On December 4th, 2012, Lucas purchased a 9mm semi-automatic Glock from Goleta Valley Gun and Supply. On March 12, 2013, he purchased another 9mm semi-automatic Sig Sauer pistol from Gun World. This is the gun that was used in the shooting. On February 22, 2014, he purchased yet another 9mm semi-automatic Sig Sauer pistol from B&G Guns. Investigators confiscated an iPhone 4 that contained about 200 selfies that Lucas took of himself. There were also many suspicious searches done on his computer. Some included quick silent kill with a knife, how to kill someone with a knife, philosophy of a knife, I've never had a female friend, and modern torture devices. Lucas was born on July 24, 1991, in London, England. He had moved to California with his family when he was just 5 years old. He had a sister who was 4 years younger. When Lucas was 7 years old, his parents divorced. His dad went on to remarry. However, his mom didn't. His parents shared custody of him and his sister, but Lucas never showed any signs of distress over the divorce. Lucas also had a half-brother who was 14 years younger than him, and they were close and would spend time together. For the sake of their children, his parents remained on friendly terms. Lucas was always a shy child, and was treated for many years for various issues. When he was 7 or 8 years old, he went to speech therapy for a lisp. The therapy did its job, though, and corrected the lisp. He was also scared of dogs while growing up, but he later got over that fear. Lucas's father was from England and was a film director. He worked on numerous large productions, including being on the production team for the Hunger Games movies. Lucas's mother was from Malaysia. As a teenager, he enjoyed swimming, hiking, reading, writing, going to the library, and playing video games. He attended Crespi Carmelite High School his freshman year and received poor grades. During his sophomore, junior, and senior years, he attended Independence Continuation School. He graduated but chose not to attend his graduation ceremony. Lucas was always quiet and kept to himself. He didn't really interact with others and often hid behind a building during school recess. Almost all of Lucas's interactions with other people took place online while playing video games. He also preferred to stay at home and not go to places with his family.
There's no way I thought that this boy could hurt a flea. I mean, this is the most unbelievable thing, but what I don't get is we didn't see this coming at all. This is the American horror story, or the world's horror story, is when you have somebody who on the outside is one thing and on the inside is something completely different, and you don't see it.
When Lucas hit puberty, he found it hard to interact with women. He didn't know how to deal with the issues he had while growing up properly, and he would blame others for his frustration. His parents tried to help him overcome his social anxiety to no avail. Lucas became increasingly upset by his constant rejection by women. He got angry whenever he saw happy couples out in public.
I think he's a really lonely guy. I mean, if he had received more love, then I don't think it will get that bad.
Living in Los Angeles with his mom, Lucas attended Pierce College and Moore Park College before he decided to move to Isla Vista. He moved to Isla Vista on June 4th, 2011, and enrolled at Santa Barbara City College. Lucas was looking forward to a fresh start and to gain independence. He was also hoping that the move would help him improve social skills. Unfortunately, it wasn't as easy as Lucas was hoping it would be. He still struggled with social anxiety and continued to have trouble making friends and meeting girls. He was constantly rejected by women.
He was really, really upset about why is the world so unfair to him, and like, oh, I'm a good-looking guy, and why are girls falling for those ugly, fat guys?
While in college, Lucas received around $500 a month from his father, as well as money from other families to go towards his tuition. Lucas would stash this money away, and he ended up using it to purchase the numerous weapons that were found in his possession on the night he died, as well as the knives found in his bedroom. Lucas continued to purchase lottery tickets at the time in order to try and become wealthy, because he thought that being wealthy was the only way he would be able to get a girlfriend. Every time he lost on a lottery ticket, his anger would increase. He would continue to be upset that he was still a virgin, and would ultimately die a virgin. This seems to become a recurring pattern among active shooters that we are covering.
Too many have died! We should say to ourselves, not one more!
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Active Shooter, the podcast. Make sure to check us out on social media. We have a newly formed discussion group on Facebook. Just search for Active Shooter, the podcast discussion group. You can also find us on Instagram at Active the Podcast and Twitter at Podcast Active. For just $1 a month, you can get access to ad-free episodes, early release episodes when available, and a shout-out on the show. Just go to www.patreon.com/Active the Podcast. Thank you, and be safe. According to the National Crime Survey, the number of violent crimes in America has increased by 28% from 2015 to 2018.
It felt like I didn't have the words or the strength to describe this incomprehensible pain.
The vast majority of those crimes come and go, with barely a mention on the evening news. They are shuffled through the court system, and while there might be a judgment of sentence in the case, justice is not always served.
I'm afraid to go to sleep every night, afraid that I will have yet another nightmare.
Join us for these lesser-known crime stories, where true justice eluded the survivors.
We are Jane Doe's no more.
This is our chance to shine the light on the most important part of every true crime case and bring those stories to you.
That's the story I want people to know. Her story, our story.
For the victim.
I'm Bonnie Lee, the host of Writing About Crime, a Canadian true crime podcast that looks for the story behind criminal cases. The people, the places, and the events that join together to create a narrative, not a scoop. I am not reading you the news. I am writing about crime. I hope you'll join me on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.